Wow, okay, so I perform a lot, but I'm still really nervous just talking in front of people. So I'm going to do what I do normally whenever I warm up, which is do some shoulder presses, so just bear with me.
What's your name?
After Lars, I don't have to look at you.
There it is.
That's what all the kids like in Lars. Kids and Lars.
Kids and Lars.
Anyway, so everyone has this script up here. I am a little bit more adaptive, and as Justin just said, I just came back from China yesterday. I got back at 9:40. So, I didn't know how I was going to feel today, but I am alive and awake, so yay, I'm telling a story. So, I am going to start. I'm from outside of Asheville, North Carolina. I did not really start dancing at all. But at the beach, there is a video of me dancing to MC Hammer when I was 4 in front of my dad, and I thought it was only for him, but it was being projected to the entire city. So, anyway, so that was my dancing experience, and then I actually did take one class, and I'll just sum it up to you like this. I remember stretching, and I remember being on stage in a plaid shirt, a red bandana, a cowboy hat, tap shoes, and jeans. And there was a stick horse, and that was my routine, was chassing, which means to travel. Deal with it. Except a stick horse. It was really humiliating, and I thought about dying at 6. So, I did not dance again. But I grew up playing basketball my entire life. There were signs about dancing all the way through. My dad, I was a point guard. I'm also short, if you didn't realize. I'm on a stage, but I'm short. So anyway, my dad, when I was breaking a press, I was really mean and really competitive. My dad would say, "Dance, Ronnie, dance." And that was whenever I was destroying a full court press. So anyway, that, and then I choreographed for one of my classes, and actually one of my rival schools, but I just had never taken class besides the cowboy dance class, which was awful. Anyway, and then I went to school at the NC State down the street and have a degree in architecture for environmental design. And then I worked in a firm for several years before I decided that architecture in the real life is awful. So, anyway, but my sophomore year, when I was 19, I did take a class with one of my friends who grew up dancing, and at that dance class, the director saw me and offered me a scholarship to take dance class. So there were kind of all these signs growing up, and even when I was an adult at that point, that dance was happening in my life in a big way. So I started assisting a bunch of different teachers, took a lot of different styles from different master teachers because it was accessible to me. Just because the director saw me, and I've been really lucky in just being in the right place at the right time. Where did I go? I was performing at the North Carolina Dance Festival. One of the choreographers needed a new dancer, and she saw me perform somewhere. I don't remember where, and she invited me to be a part of the festival, and then. So that was kind of my introduction to modern dance, and then after that I was continuing, I was already teaching at that point. What happened? This is also what happens. I start to ramble and then forget. That's okay. After that, shoulder presses. Thanks, Lars. That was very helpful. Thank you. That's very helpful in this process to remember. But anyway, so I've danced in a lot of different companies, but I really can't remember. Let's just jump to after I had already started my company. So my company is called Black Irish, and I had 2 premieres, and then normally in a local company you work on 1 series per year. So you have a show at the end of the year, and you work a lot because just work is really hard to come by. In the 3rd year, I suffered from just having a seizure, and then I had several more from epilepsy, and it was kind of a perfect storm where I wasn't sleeping or eating or working, I was definitely working, but eating right, drinking water, and so I had a seizure and then it continued to happen like multiple times. And so in that process, I forgot about 8 years of my adult life. So at that particular point, so I wasn't able to drive because the last seizure that I had, I was in a car and I had a wreck on I-40. So that was super fun. So I wasn't driving for a very long time, but right after that, my work was accepted to the North Carolina Dance Festival. And right before that, now I'm remembering, I was invited by the North Carolina Museum of Art to do a series on a work called 30 Americans, which was 31 African-American artists, and I was meant to go there, review the work, and then create a series based on that. So that was kind of my first introduction to creating professional work in dance. But going back to the North Carolina Dance Festival, once this year, it was what we were premiering was the first work I'd ever done, which was called XOXO, and that's what we premiered on the North Carolina Dance Festival. And I continued to make work, but I had forgotten 8 years of my life, so identity became really important to me. So Black and Irish is my identity. My mom is Spanish, my dad is Irish, and that's a whole other different story on how Black Irish came to, but starts in Kentucky. 40th Black man to ask me what my nationality was, and he told me that I was Black Irish after telling him that. So I'm Black Irish, and so that was fun. And Black Irish sounds way better than my mom is Spanish, my dad is Irish, so Black Irish. So I continued to make a lot of different work and just get noticed. Again, going back to being lucky, because I had forgotten a lot of my life. So people stepping in and just noticing me, it doesn't hurt that I'm a guy in the dance world either. But just acknowledging that, I think, is a big thing in the dance world, just noticing, like, hey, you're getting a lot of stuff just because you're white. It's important to just notice that. So anyway, after getting noticed again, I traveled to DC and San Francisco with another company, traveling and performing and all over the place with them. And then, anyway, in doing that, I've really tried to discover what my motto is and how do I continue to create work whenever I don't have a lot of memories that you all probably have. I'm guessing most people have not forgotten 8 or 9 years of their life. So my particular motto in life is your differences are not weaknesses, but strengths. Exploit your differences, be a monster. And what that means essentially is that I do not focus on things that I don't have, but things that I do have accessible to me. So I create new memories and I use my design process that I learned in architecture school. It's very similar to the dance process. Aesthetically, you are very critical of everything that you do. It also makes you very critical of everyone else. I'll be the first person always to tell when my work sucks. I'm like, today we were in rehearsal. That's what I did right before I came here. And we are creating new work. Our premiere is in June 3rd and 4th. IamBlackIrish.com. So anyway, plug for that. But we were creating a movement and one of my dancers were dancing with her. And I was like, wow, that sucked! God! And she starts laughing. And it is kind of funny to tell someone that they suck right there on the spot. But it's not like a personal criticism. It's just like noticing that things can be better and being critical of yourself, and having all these seizures and forgetting has kind of just taught me that you can always create new memories, you can always create new everything. What you can't do is dwell on things that you can't remember or change, and that's whatever I try to remember. So anyway, I think I probably have like 10 or 12 seconds, but yeah, thank you. I don't know. So I'll continue to do that. Great.